3, 2, and 1. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Vicky, and in today's video, I wanted to talk about 5 ways in which you can bless your husband. Now, if you're not married, this video could still be very helpful for you in the future, or if you're just in a relationship in general. So why is it important to bless your husband? Well, as a Christian, I feel like it's kind of our duty as a wife to do so. In Ephesians 5:21-24, it says, "Submit to one another out of reverence for Christ. Wives, submit yourselves to your own husbands as you do to the Lord. For the husband is the head of the wife, as Christ is the head of the church, his body, of which he is the Savior. Now as the church submits to Christ, so also wives should submit to their husbands in everything." So I feel like it's important for us to be intentional with the things that we do for our husbands, because then we can appreciate him more and appreciate our marriage a lot more as well. For example, when it comes to cooking dinner for him, you don't just think about it as, oh, he's coming home, so I need to cook dinner. Instead, you should think about it as he's coming home from work. He worked hard all day long to be able to provide for our family that we have. And as a wife, I can cook him a very delicious home-cooked meal to show him that I appreciate his hard work. The first thing you can do to bless your husband is to figure out his love language. He should also know your love language, and if you're unfamiliar with what the 5 love languages are, it's essentially just the way in which an individual likes to receive love, and it's different for everyone. I do want to do a whole video just dedicated to the 5 love languages, so I won't go too in-depth into it in this video. Those 5 love languages are words of affirmation, quality time, receiving gifts, acts of service, and physical touch. So it's important for you to figure out what his love language is so that you can show him love in the way that he likes to be loved. I feel like this one is the most important, and that is to pray for your husband. Now, as far as what it is that you should be praying for him, you could be praying for things like his job, his health, his faith, his protection. Even if someone isn't sick, I feel like it's still important to be praying for your loved one's health, especially in this time that we're living in right now, since we're in the middle of a pandemic. And I started heavily praying for my husband's health, especially whenever this whole virus thing started happening. So it's really, really important to be praying for your husband's health and protection, especially whenever he's out of the home and you kind of have no control over what happens. Writing him a little love note is a great way to show appreciation for your husband, especially if you're like me and you're not very good at talking about your emotions verbally. So a little note can really go a long way. And this doesn't have to be anything complex. It can be if you want it to, or it could just be something very simple, just a simple text message. Or like the other day, I put a little note in Daniel's lunch and I just said something like, "I love you, I hope you have a good day." So just something small like that, and just giving him a word of encouragement can really make him feel good and just brighten up his day, especially if he's had not that great of a day. Next is taking care of him, and this may look different for everyone's marriage, but in my case, he takes care of me financially and I take care of him in every other way. So this may be things like cooking for him, making sure that he's got lunch, packing up his lunch for him, washing his laundry, and just making sure that he comes home to a clean home. And finally, number 5 is to listen, and this means showing a genuine interest in what he likes and what he's talking about. You guys are not going to have the same interests, and that's okay, but it is important to listen to each other whenever you're talking about the things that you like. For example, Daniel's really into cars. I don't really know anything about cars, but ever since I met him, I've learned a little bit. So it's important for you to be an active listener rather than a passive listener. That is something that I do struggle with. I've always struggled with this, but it is something that I am working on. So just trying to make that conscious effort to be an active listener and engage in conversation with your partner and ask questions. And then that way, you know, like in my case, I've learned a little more about cars and he's learned a little more about makeup. So yes, that is all I have for you guys in today's video. I'm sure there are lots of other ways in which you can bless your husband, but these are just 5 easy, simple ways in which you can do so. I really hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. All the links to my social media will be linked down below, and I will see you guys in my next video.